Ever heard of the Book of Enoch? No, not something you'd find in a hotel room drawer.
Right.
This book, it takes us back thousands of years,
Thousands, yeah.
offering a look at these ancient beliefs that, well, they didn't make it into the Bible as we know it today.
It's fascinating, these chapters, these sections, specifically section 5, and then this fragment that we have from the Book of Noah. They blend prophecy and philosophy, almost like this guide to living right when everything's about to go down.
Yeah, and you don't have to dig very far into this book to hit those themes of judgment, like chapter 91, right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Kicks off with some pretty intense imagery.
Intense.
A horse in the blood of sinners is not exactly subtle.
No, not at all.
What kind of message do you think Enoch was trying to send with that?
Oh, it's definitely attention grabbing.
Yeah.
And in a way, that was the whole point. Vivid, like apocalyptic texts, this imagery. It was common not just to like predict the future, but to really shake people awake with symbolism. And the horse in the blood of sinners, that represents like the wicked being utterly overwhelmed by their actions, consequence of not following that path of righteousness.
So less of a literal horse and more of a, hey, wake up, your actions have consequences kind of message.
Exactly. And it wasn't just about individual punishment or anything like that. Enoch talks about idols being abandoned, temples burning, like a complete cleansing of the earth. This concept of cyclical destruction and renewal.
Yeah.
That was powerful in a lot of cultures.
Right.
That the world goes through these huge shifts.
Kind of like hitting the reset button on humanity.
Yeah.
Except not in a fun, everyone gets a fresh start kind of way.
Right.
But then Enoch shifts gears. He goes from this big picture judgment to like incredibly specific about the righteous and the wicked.
Yeah.
Almost like he's mapping out two totally different paths.
What's the significance of that contrast?
It's not just good versus evil. It's understanding the consequences of each path.
Okay. You see these woes declared upon sinners, and they offer some surprisingly relevant insights, even for us today.
Right.
Take the wealthy who drink wine in large bowls and tread underfoot the lowly. And it's not just about wealth being inherently bad, but about the abuse of power.
Yeah.
The disregard for those less fortunate. It's kind of familiar, right?
Yeah, it's like economic injustice is a tale as old as time, unfortunately.
Right.
But then he connects that to environmental disregard, right?
Yes.
He talks about people drinking water from every fountain until they wither away.
Yeah, and that's an important point. It's almost as though he's drawing this direct line between that lack of respect for others and disregard for the natural world. This idea of unsustainable living,
Right.
overconsumption leading to destruction. He's making this connection between social justice and environmental responsibility thousands of years ago.
Wow. It's kind of sobering
Yeah.
to see how these patterns just repeat through history.
Mm-hmm.
But Enoch, he doesn't leave us hanging on a purely bleak outlook, does he? He offers a powerful message of hope, too, for those who choose to walk a righteous path.
Absolutely. The Book of Enoch, it's not just a warning. It's a source of encouragement. Even when you're surrounded by darkness, there's always that other path, a better way to live.
Yeah, and he paints such a vivid picture of that passage where he talks about the righteous shining like the lights of heaven.
Right.
Like their inner goodness becomes impossible to ignore. What do you make of that imagery?
Well, it speaks to that transformative power of righteousness, I think. It's not about your outward appearances or empty gestures, but this deep internal shift that then radiates outward. And it's not fleeting either. Enoch stresses that this light, this legacy of good actions that transcends earthly life.
So it's less about like instant gratification, material wealth, fame, those sorts of things.
Right.
And more about aligning yourself with something bigger, something that continues to have an impact even after you're gone.
Precisely. It's about recognizing our actions have ripples. They extend way beyond our own lives. And this concept of lasting impact, it ties in beautifully with that fragment that we have from the Book of Noah.
Right, the story of Noah's birth.
Yeah.
Talk about a memorable entrance.
Oh, yeah.
He's described as being white as snow and red as the blooming of a rose, with eyes that lighted up the whole house like the sun. Even his own father freaks out, right?
Right.
An angel must have been involved here.
It's an incredibly vivid image, and it's supposed to highlight Noah's significance. This isn't just any baby.
Right.
He represents a new start, a glimmer of hope in this world that's on the verge of, this major reset.
Which kind of circles back to those cycles of destruction and renewal we were talking about before.
Right.
Even when humanity stumbles, there's always that chance of a fresh start. It's almost like a line pattern, just woven into how everything works.
Exactly. And Noah embodies that new beginning, the promise of, starting over, starting fresh after the storm. It's a powerful, powerful message. Resilience, humanity's ability to, learn and grow, even with immense challenges.
And speaking of carrying things forward, I was struck by how much Enoch emphasizes preserving his words.
Oh, yeah.
Like constantly instructs his son Methuselah to protect his writings, make sure that they're passed down. Why was that so important to him?
Well, I think it speaks to the power of stories,
Yeah.
of recorded history and transmitting knowledge. Enoch understood that his words held wisdom that could guide future generations. He saw himself as part of this larger chain of knowledge keepers. They were entrusted with these insights that could help humanity navigate the challenges to come.
It's incredible to think we're still engaging with his words thousands of years later.
I know.
Like we're part of that same chain,
It's amazing.
picking up where they left off.
Yeah.
Even though, Book of Enoch, it's not in the standard biblical canon, those stories and those ideas, they're still sparking conversations. They're still challenging us to think differently about things.
And that's what's so exciting about exploring these ancient texts, right?
Yeah.
It's not about blindly accepting everything you read,
Right.
but about approaching them with curiosity, with an open mind. There are so many forgotten stories and perspectives out there
Yeah.
just waiting to be rediscovered and reinterpreted,
Yeah, it really makes you wonder what else is out there,
right?
hidden in plain sight, just waiting to challenge our assumptions and deepen our understanding of the world and how it all works. But with the Book of Enoch, I mean, we've covered a lot of ground.
You have.
Fiery judgments, the paths of the righteous and the wicked, a baby who lights up a room like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So as we start to bring this deep dive to a close, what do you think is the most important thing to take away from all of this?
I think the key takeaway here is that even though these texts are ancient, the themes they're exploring are, well, they're timeless.
Yeah.
Good versus evil, the search for meaning, consequences.
Right.
These are all things that humans have been grappling with for millennia.
It's like Enoch is holding up this mirror,
Yeah.
showing us not just humanity's potential, but also our capacity for self-destruction.
Right.
And he's not just presenting it as like a foregone conclusion. He's urging us to choose wisely, to learn from the past, strive for something better.
Exactly. He reminds us that our choices matter, and not just for us, but for generations to come.
Right.
And that's a powerful message, one that I think we lose sight of sometimes in our fast-paced world.
Yeah, it really makes you stop and think about the bigger picture, doesn't it? If Enoch could give us like one final thought to ponder after this whole deep dive, what do you think it would be?
I think he would ask us to consider how these ancient beliefs about righteousness, about judgment, these cycles of time, how they can inform our understanding of, what it means to be human even today. Even though the Book of Enoch isn't in the Bible most people read, maybe could its themes and ideas still offer, valuable insights for us as we search for meaning and purpose in our own lives.
That's a question with some real weight to it. It's like we've been handed this ancient key.
Yeah.
And now it's up to us to decide if we want to unlock that door, explore what's on the other side. Well, thank you. Thank you for being such a fantastic guide on this deep dive into the Book of Enoch.
Oh, you're welcome.
It has been fascinating to kind of dig into these ancient ideas. I think we've all come away with a lot to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions. And who knows, you might just uncover some hidden truths of your own.